Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome. And if you're returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So what this video is going to be about is in September, I am going to be hosting another round of the Past Lives Club. This is going to be mainly hosted out of my Facebook group, formerly Amethyst Ascension Family Group. Now it's called Divination and Spirituality. And if you would like to join that group, the link is down below in the description. However, make sure that you answer the questions because it is a private group and I encourage safety in that and encourage people to share with us, and I want them to feel safe in order to do that. So you need to answer the questions and you need to agree to follow the rules. So this is going to be the first video that I put in that group, showing the decks that I use for this process. Obviously, you use what works for you. I'm showing you my process and giving you just a few ideas, okay? So first of all, one of the things that I do is get a archetype. What I mean by that is I look at maybe like an overarching archetype, one or possibly three, or if you wanted to, you could do an archetype for each one of the different categories if you choose to. So suggestions for archetype decks would be, this is a great one, the Carol and Miss archetype cards. This is mass market. And it has like the light and the shadow of every archetype, which is really beneficial. I found this one to be really good. This is called the Archeo Personal Archetype Cards by Nick Bantock, creator of Griffin and Sabine. This was really good. Another one that is really good, and probably a lot of people know about it, and there's actually a smaller mini deck that came out now, a pocket version of this, the Archetypes deck by The Wild Unknown, Kim Kranz. This is a great archetype deck. I think this is probably what I'm going to be using this time around. And, oops, and another one that's great is the Citadel. But, honestly, you can use a tarot deck if you want. You can use your favorite oracle deck if you want, and just use your discernment in the prompt that you get or the card that you get, and how would that roll into like an archetype, right? So, because there are just so many different archetypes, you know, I don't think a single deck could encapsulate all of them. So use your discernment, use what you have in your collection, or those are great decks that I suggested. So for this, I highly recommend the Uncover Your Past Lives Oracle, because it is bar none. I mean, she just took it off of sale. It was for $38, I think. Now it is $45, which to me, I think is still a steal, because when you look at the amount of information that you get in this deck, and I'm trying not to have the lights because here in a minute, I'm going to be showing the digital planner that I created for this particular exercise. And if you want to know, well, it's going to be something that we do primarily through the group, through the guides, and through a chat that I created specifically for the past lives. I have other stuff being planned for other months as well, and including other people. I've been doing some stuff behind the scenes. But this has 8 different categories on all of these pages, and there's 80 some cards in this deck. But on top of that, you turn it over and there's 80 some different topics and 4 different possibilities, depending, because of it being a round deck. And this is why it being round, it works so beautifully, is because it is designed to whatever way is up, that's what you get. That was like what you got more detail on. So let me show you right quick the digital planner that I have created. And after I make this video and get it uploaded onto my channel, this is also going to be available. I wanted to put this digital planner available in the divination and spirituality group, but the file is just entirely too large. So I had to put it in my Amethyst Ascension page. Now, I am going to try and see if I can do another version where I lower the graphics so it's not quite as big of a, file size. However, let me show you what it looks like. And I'm going to be doing that today anyways. All right, let me pull this up really quick. All right. This, let me come down here so you can see. Something very simple. It is linkable. It's PDF. So if you don't have a tablet, you can still do it on your computer or maybe even your phone. I'm not sure how that works. I don't really do a lot of stuff on my phone, but I know a lot of people do. So anyways, this is a linkable PDF. It says this digital journal was designed to use as a companion alongside your past life exploration. I hope you find it a useful tool in your practice. So you click on each one of these and it takes you to a page for you. I kept it simple so that you can explore it however you want. And I like it being like an old tattered book because it's like we're digging into ancient times, right? So the little, not on this page because this is kind of like the title page and contents, linkable page, all that. But this little symbol on all the other pages takes you back to this page. So got archetypes, got identity, and it's got the actual spread on there. Now, behind each one of the pages, so archetype, I've included another blank page. After the identity, another blank page. Time frame, another blank page. Location, another one. Faith, love, trauma, death, lesson, and a message. I like to end my life work with a message from my past life self to my current self. So, and also another blank page. And these all take it right back to. But if you want to go to lesson, takes you to lesson. Go back to front page. You want to go to love, goes to love. But that way you have more with an empty page afterwards. You have even more space to do as you want. I just kept this really simple. But now, why am I doing that? I'm going to show you, let me set this aside, exactly how I use the past life oracle. Okay, so the first category obviously is archetype. So I would draw out of one of the decks that I showed you. So the next category would be identity. So I do it this way so that I'm not seeing which card it is. I take flyers only. You can do it however you want. You don't have to take a flyer. But let's say this is what I was looking for, identity. I would flip it over and my identity was child. So I leave that there. Then for more clarity on this identity, I flip it over this way. So these are now my backs. And I say, give me one more card as clarification. Okay. And this is what was up this way in between. So snitch and executioner. So that's what I would do. And when it's between snitch and executioner, I take both. It's like a blend of those, right? So let me just say, I got this deck several years ago, okay? Right after it ended the Kickstarter and she was selling it on her website. So the newer decks do not come with this big book. They come with a smaller book that fits in with the box. However, let's go and look at identity. So child, with a past life event or situation you are reading, you may have played the role of a child in an important way, or it defined how you saw yourself. If reading a current relationship, you were the other party's child in a past life. Okay? So that was the identity. Now also, because we're using this card as more clarity into the situation, it's on the execution card, but it was in between executed and snitch, right? So we would find the execution card, and they're all in alphabetical order. There are tons of these knockoff copies out there, but you know what the difference is? You don't get a book with it. And this deck, you need a book. This is why you need a book. Because when you are looking at the time frames and you're looking at the locations and stuff like that, but not to mention you are giving somebody else your money and you're not supporting the person that took their time and effort to create this wonderful oracle deck, which is right up there with one of my most favorite, most valuable. This deck is worth its weight in gold. Let me just say that, okay? So, on the execution card, it was between executed and, no, I think it was snitch and executioner. I don't remember. But there's a whole write-up for executed. There's a whole write-up for snitch, executioner, and witness. It's invaluable information. So then you would go through and do that for every single category. The next one would be time frame. Oops. So I'm going to turn it over this way. And the time frame would have been late Bronze Age. So that, then I would turn it over this way for clarity. And, okay, it came up this way. Nature worship in between, what is that? Franciscan mysticism and animism. So that comes up. So maybe it was some sort of, cult during this period of time. And I was a child, and maybe they did like sacrifices, human sacrifices and stuff, right? So that's how this particular thing works. Now, you don't have to use this particular deck. However, I highly, highly recommend it if you have it. If you don't have it and you can't get it, because I think she's only got one left. I don't know if she's got more that she, will get more printed. But I would be watching. This is just my own personal opinion. If you're going to be doing past life work, there is no other deck that even compares to the amount of information for the price that you can get from this deck. And not the knockoff copy, because I guarantee you're going to be wasting your money if you get a knockoff copy that you can't use because you don't have the book that goes with it. So be wise, save your money, and support the lady that created this phenomenal tool and use this particular tool. Me, for one, I am not good with past life regression. Now, that's not to say that I can't eventually, but my personality is so strong and I don't want to feel like I'm being led in any way. That's why it is easier for me as a card slinger to do it this way. Not to mention past life regression, unless you have money, can be quite pricey. And I would want, if I did get it, I would want to get the QHHRT or whatever it's called that's done by Dolores Cannon's institution. And those are a few $100s and take hours and hours to sit through those regression. Not that it's not something that I wouldn't like to do, but this is something that doesn't have to cost nearly that kind of money. And if you trust your intuition to do tarot readings, why wouldn't you trust your intuition to do something like this? You see what I'm saying? So anyways, this is going to be the first video that I do for the group. It's also going to be here. If you want to join in with it, we're going to be having guides each week, which I've already put a couple in there, preparing for September, and I've already got the digital planner created. That's going to be going over into my shop probably today or tomorrow. And we are going to have one live chat towards the end of the month so everybody can really touch base with what they got out of the reading. And we're not doing 4, we're just doing 1. Now, the beautiful thing about this past life companion is if you want to rename it, because they're copyable, if you want to rename it to the life that it was and create a whole new one for each life, you can easily access that particular companion, which at the end of this, I'll show you how to do that. And this is free. It doesn't cost anything, just a little bit of your time and exploration. And if you want to join in with us, and you know, there, like I said, there is a chat. Maybe I didn't say, there is also a chat that stems off of the divination and spirituality group that's called the Past Lives Club Chat. And we're going to be discussing what we find in that as well. But for people to try to touch base like what I did with the ladies, depending on how many join in, that's going to be too difficult. That's why we're going to keep it to one live gathering at the end, or FaceTime gathering, but that is not going to be public. That is going to be private. So you have to be in it in order to be in it, in order to share in it. So thank you for watching. I hope you decide to join in. The link to the group is down below, and the link to my Amethyst Ascension shop, where you can pick up the Past Life Club digital companion, will be over there. So I'm sending you love.